Thank you. We now move on to motion 5 on Vision 0, to be proposed by Assemblymember Russell, and seconder is Assemblymember Barry. Assemblymember Russell.
Thank you, Chair. And I want to start by saying that the Green Group is happy to accept the amendment from Assemblymember Moore, which simply adds to our request of the Mayor that he should work with local councils on the actions called for in the motion. And so I will propose the motion as if it has been amended. This last year has seen all of us walking more than ever before. So I hope this motion about making it safer and more convenient to cross the road resonates for every single one of us. While many of us have experienced quieter streets with less traffic while we've been working from home, some of our busiest roads are as hostile as they were 4 years ago when I visited Outer London's main road junctions with many of you and organisations like Transport for All for the Hostile Streets report for the Transport Committee. On those visits, we witnessed places so dangerous there literally was no way to get across the road safely, and I still shudder at the memory of running across a multi-lane highway with Keith Prince and Will Norman and others at Gallows Corner. I got into politics through campaigning that started 28 years ago as a parent newly aware of the danger posed by cars and lorries as I pushed my son around local streets in his buggy. I joined what was then called the Pedestrians Association, now known as Living Streets, the organisation that stands up for people walking, especially children, older and disabled people. I learned from those years of campaigning how older and disabled people are so adversely affected by road danger from heavy speeding traffic and the vehicle-centred way that many of our streets are designed. People have campaigned for improvements for so long, and I learned many of my campaigning skills from people well into their 80s who had been campaigning for pedestrian benefits for decades. So many Londoners want to prevent people being killed or seriously injured while simply trying to cross the road to pick up a pint of milk. Many of us have met campaigners who have survived terrible collisions with buses and lorries on our streets, people like Tom Carney, Sarah Hope, and Victoria Lebrec. It is really important that our city streets are inclusive and safe for children to walk to school and for everyone, especially older and disabled people. Our streets must be accessible for people getting about with a white cane, a guide dog, a walking frame, a wheelchair, or a mobility scooter. Now, this motion is straightforward. It refers to the terrible toll of death and injury affecting people walking in London. In 2019, the most recent year with published data, 1,282 people were seriously injured while walking on or next to London's roads. Tragically, 68 people were killed while walking that year, and at least 44 of these people were killed while crossing the road. The motion targets a worrying safety gap in our city that must be addressed as part of the Mayor's Vision Zero policy. I have asked Transport for London for figures, and they've told me that 261 signalised junctions in London only have signals for motor traffic and not for people trying to cross these busy main roads. And so the motion asks the Mayor to do two things: to review those junctions where no priority is given to people walking and where there is the potential to introduce safety features like dropped curbs and tactile paving as part of his Vision Zero work. And more importantly, it asks the Mayor to use this junction review to develop a plan to introduce signal-protected pedestrian crossings on every arm of every junction that has signals to control motor traffic. Yesterday afternoon, I tweeted about this motion I'm bringing to you today, and the tweet clearly resonated with Londoners and campaigners like Living Streets, Road Peace, Travel Watch, Clean Air campaigners, and pensioners groups. Hundreds of Londoners have engaged with me on this, thanking me for bringing the motion, suggesting junctions where it's hard to cross the road because there are no pedestrian signals, and including pictures of some of the worst examples. So I hope you will all join me in this call to the Mayor to fix this problem, so London's children and older and disabled people get a dedicated phase in the signals when traffic stops to allow people across the road in safety. I move the motion.